It's just, come on, man. Start the show, man. I'm tired of your antics, dog. We had a good take.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the greatest show on podcast.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Lee.
What else?
A.K.A. Southside Lee on IG.
What else?
And I'm joined by my partner in pod.
Earlington Agustas the Great.
A.K.A.
Your baby mama's baby daddy.
A.K.A.
Your auntie's favorite pool boy.
A.K.A.
Sweater God. And we are
3ThePodWay. Chumps.
Your success took a shot at it. What are you gonna do now? How you gonna kill it? You gonna become unsuccessful?
You goddamn right. Let's give it up for him.
Hold it. Pull up the truck there, selector. It's vetting season.
Gully General.
Yo, the bedroom bully. Yo, Sesly, Bwoi.
Let's give it up for him.
Carnival season.
Just drink water and mind my business.
It's no coincidence that the Warriors wrapped it up last night. The Splash Brothers are back.
Ooh.
The podcast Splash Brothers, that is. Give it up for them.
Yes.
Hey, I just thought about something.
So,
We might have better sound effects than Amigos, dog.
Mama.
Because I literally say nothing during the voice part.
Right.
That joint just be booming.
Well, I tell you what, let's get a poll together. Let's see if we can get a poll to see who has the best ad libs in the game. So
Migos are 3ThePodWay.
So no, we got more people. We'll throw some other names in there. So you got
Who else?
Migos, you got 3ThePodWay, Jim Jones. Jim Jones has some ad libs. Who else has ad libs?
Said by no one except Jim Jones.
Who else has ad libs?
The best ad lib is Ross.
Ross.
Yeah.
Okay, Ross. Okay.
And I think that was an accident. He was just,
So we gonna put together. We gonna put
he was
together a poll.
struggling back
We
then.
gonna
It was
figure
hard
out
for
who
him.
has the best ad libs. All right. So look, in the spirit of getting right to it, what you got for us?
Hey man, we out here, So in news, man. So shout out to a major, I think, step forward for the Nike brand, yo. So they looked out
sure.
and it went out, did something great for one of the greatest athletes, I think, to touch this green earth.
We all agree.
So we gonna give it up for an icon. So for those who are unaware, the GOAT, Serena Williams, has been blessed by Nike with her own building on the Nike campus.
Her name is on the building.
It's like a compound, right?
So not just a building. I understated by calling it a building, right?
absolutely, yeah.
So this is a 1 million square foot facility.
1 million?
So to put that in context, the equivalent of 140 full-size tennis courts.
Oh, that's cool.
That's massive. Let's give it up for that.
I wonder if that number's by design. Like, did she win like 140 matches or something? We should do some more research on that. I wonder what that is.
So the name of the actual building is the Serena Williams Building. It's the largest office building at Nike World Headquarters. So what's going to actually take place within this building, just for those that are interested, right? The space allows for the pinnacle of collaboration, bringing Nike's design, insights, and product merchandising teams together for the first time. Again, that's major.
Yeah, that's dope.
A lot of class, but it's worth it.
Give it up.
The thing that I like to see, that I did think about in hearing about this story in particular, right, is that the greatness that we've been able to witness within our lifetimes.
Right.
And we're not even, halfway done.
there, right.
And think about it. We've seen Serena Williams. We caught Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Who else? Kobe Bryant. Right.
LeBron, you get
LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron. You could easily throw LeBron in there.
Tom Brady.
Steph Curry, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, for that matter.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like
MJ.
Yeah, we saw.
The tail end of MJ.
Yeah.
basically.
We
But he's
saw.
still doing this thing though.
I don't want to start with Mike Vick, but I think Mike Vick was the beginning of the evolution.
Yeah.
The next evolution of the black quarterback. These are all things that
That's
we
what you're
witnessed
saying, yeah.
during
Yeah.
our lifetime.
I just hope Peter don't watch this. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, man, to bring
we love our fur babies.
To bring that full circle though, this is a major accomplishment.
Hey, shout out to Serena.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. Got out of that one.
Yeah.
Always find a way, dog.
So you had also mentioned the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, man. So yeah, dog. So the NBA playoffs, man. I feel like this is the first time in
Do some quick math.
like seven years probably.
Right.
LeBron's not in the playoffs. Who else didn't make it?
I did see a stat on that. I'm gonna give you.
Who else didn't make it? Somebody that is always in the playoffs didn't make it this year.
I mean, I think Brian is the.
He's the major
he missed
name,
it.
obviously.
They missed it
By a game.
like a year or two ago, right? 2 years ago. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, I felt.
Yeah. And then they say like I guess make it to the finals too. KD's not gonna be in the finals obviously this year.
Right.
And then LeBron's not gonna be in the finals because KD was easily like in the finals when he was at Warriors
he had
3-4 years.
He had a run like that. He went like Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland.
Like people like
then LA. He was out. Then he went LA,
and then still went back again. So like,
out,
say what you want to say. Like that's why I think people have valid arguments when they talk about LeBron, right? Like saying he's like, I guess baby GOAT in this sense.
Is he your GOAT?
Nah, he's not my GOAT.
You still think MJ?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
But he's done monumental things. Like no one can say that they did what LeBron did by himself with a cast, by himself again.
So
with a cast.
To that point, we're gonna actually gonna go a little deep into that particular concept, right? So just to bring everybody up to speed, right? So the Heat have eliminated the Hawks 4-1.
Right.
We got the Bucks demolishing the Bulls 4-1.
They look scary, bro.
Yeah. Well, the Bulls didn't have everybody, but nonetheless, the Bucks look like they're legit, even without Chris Middleton. Nuggets and Warriors. The Warriors took care of business. That death lineup of Draymond, Clay, and Steph. Now you're adding, instead of Iguodala, you got a younger, more athletic, more lethal Jordan Poole as a part of that. Not to mention, mind you, we're still leaving out a former number 1 pick, Andrew Wiggins. You know, when you talk about all these different weapons that they have, not to mention their defense has stepped up. So what they do in the next series is going to be interesting. Right. We got Mavs and Jazz right now, 3-2. New Orleans and the Suns. That's an interesting matchup because everybody assumed coming into it that the Suns were just gonna wash them and just walk through them.
To play though, for sure.
For that series, I'm low key almost partial to the Suns even going any further, right? Because
you see New Orleans underdog.
I mean, just an underdog team. See a different breed of like team in that joint because low key without D Book, I don't think they can really go. I mean, they may make the Western Conference Finals, but I don't see them making anything out of that.
So no, I don't know if any. I'm assuming someone has, right? Because I'm not a sportscaster, but I'm gonna say no one's brought it up.
Right.
The impact that CJ McCollum has had on that team, right?
Down.
So now, obviously, this is a stretch, but I like to reach. Does this mean that he, in fact, was a more impactful player, or potentially than Dame Lillard?
That's hard to tell. That's hard to tell. Right now, I'm gonna go with equally. Okay. I'm gonna go with equally.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Obviously, it's a stretch, right?
Yeah.
Accolades say it all. We know Dame, but
in any situation,
right?
situation, there has to be
for conversation
a one,
right,
and then a 1A.
I'm not sure the Pelicans' record prior to him getting there, but I'm under the assumption they weren't. They were
on the cusp. They were like
battling
a
number 1 seed.
But they didn't have a go-to. Well, let me take that back. B.I. is a go-to. When I say B.I., Brandon Ingram is a go-to guy. But as far as like
he can't do it by himself,
right? By himself. Right. But now that he has the complement again of a solidified veteran that can actually put in work
and control the game from
from his position, right?
But I've always liked CJ game, and just to you bringing up the Dame and CJ duo right now, it makes me think of Scottie and MJ, right? Because when MJ was down, Scottie was quote unquote supposed to be not the face of the team, but he was supposed to be the next guy up, right? So even when Dame was hurt, CJ was the next guy up. He did his thing, try to carry the team, but collectively as a squad, the Trailblazers didn't really have all the pieces to really keep it going. But with the Pelicans, like I like B.I.'s game. Like he reminds me of KD, just doesn't have the killer dog to consistently do it every game in and game out. So to that point with CJ, being the vet, being the the piece in the storm, or one, so to speak. Like
Right.
it definitely elevates that whole team, and mind you, they doing it without their number one pick.
So
Lil Z.
Yeah,
so that conversation is going to tie into the overall concept. Memphis and Minnesota, this has been entertaining.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Two young teams trying to figure out, how to win games and how to actually establish a culture, right?
Absolutely.
Minnesota celebrated like they won back-to-back championships when they won the play-in game.
But that's good for them. Hey,
Yeah,
brought that energy,
absolutely.
though.
So you seeing the dads of Ja Morant and Cat, Carl Anthony Towns, that's kind of cool to see dads, supporting their sons and being put in the limelight. I didn't know he resembled Usher like that.
Bro, that's side by side joke they did for the game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
dog.
that was crazy. But Ja Morant, right?
Dog.
Dunk of the year.
He's got a few
Nice.
dunks of the year.
He does, doesn't he? He's probably got 1 and 2, right?
Him and Anthony Edwards.
Him and Anthony
There you go.
Edwards,
Him and
yeah.
Anthony Edwards probably
Big boy.
definitely dunk of the playoffs right now,
Yeah.
for sure. Now the question is, Memphis coming in as the number 2 seed, right? The fact that they're struggling with the Timberwolves now, does that take away from their validity as a potential championship contender?
I mean, if they win the next series, all that goes out the window, because you can always say.
But you know who they play if
some
they
teams
win.
match up better. They play Golden State.
They play Golden State,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
actually won the season series with Golden State, which had
interesting.
everybody saying,
Oh, that would be the-
right, exactly.
But
So what do you say now? Because I don't think
this
the Golden
Memphis
State
team
now.
can beat that Golden State.
Well,
team.
I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting.
it's
Well,
gonna
we'll
be.
see.
I think.
Well, they got to get past these guys first.
Yeah,
There's that too, right?
and I guess not putting the cart before the horse, or the horse before the cart, whichever one that's saying.
I don't listen to fairy tales, but go ahead. I'm just saying.
But no, I think that about that series though, I think it reminds me of the Bills and Chiefs playoff game.
Oh,
Like how that joint was back and forth.
Right,
Like it was
right,
like
right.
from the kickoff, right?
Right,
So
right.
like for like legit this game,
Absolutely.
I think this is good for the league. It's creating a different rivalry that no one that has seen for real, right?
And I think the play-in does that too. Like,
Yeah,
makes
it does. It
exciting.
makes it,
Yeah.
and to Pat Bev's point, like how he was all amped up and turned it into a whole thing. So I think, but that Golden State game is gonna be tricky because they match up, but I don't think was Clay even there for half of the games they played.
Yeah, that's
And
part
that's
of
you
it.
talking
too,
about, and you
right?
talking about how the
Right.
depth chart of that
a
squad
whole
now, and they
nother
got
factor.
Steph back in the starting lot. It's going. I
And
don't
the
know.
young boy,
Desmond Bain gonna have to
Jordan,
step up like defensively.
He found himself later in the season, so I hear you. That's,
Yeah, no,
it's
this is definitely
it's
going
a
to be
different
interesting.
team.
Should that happen? So the one that I don't think anybody truly saw coming, right? I think people had Boston winning, but I think they had it going 6 or maybe even 7.
Brooms out.
Boston swept the Brooklyn Nets of KD, Kyrie, and a benched Ben Simmons.
PTO hours he needed.
Couldn't even. I wouldn't even throw him in that daggone sentence.
Hold on, wait a minute. You said Ben Simmons had to what?
Yeah, PTO.
Yeah, PTO.
Paid time off. Yeah, he had
Yeah, to use it or lose.
yeah, use it or lose.
Let's give it up for use or lose.
It was NFC. He had to use.
That's funny. So I'm gonna tell
He
you.
was on Finland.
I'm gonna tell you 2 things that I saw. I'm gonna save the second one. I'm gonna go back to the KD thing. So remember, I kept referencing like the overall theme, right?
Yeah.
These teams that we are mentioning, when we say the name of the team, you identify who the unquestioned leader of these teams are. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna throw one out, and y'all just say it, right?
Gotcha.
If I say the Bucks, who would you say?
Giannis.
All right. So if I say obviously the Warriors, who would you say?
Chef.
All right. So now when we go to Brooklyn, who would you say?
Kyrie.
I would say KD.
Okay, see, so this is interesting that y'all would say that, right? Because the way that this is shaped, the way that this is unfolded, has shown the chink, I think, in what leadership actually is and what it represents. CJ McCollum came into a situation with New Orleans, and he changed just about an entire culture
Right.
by his will, by his demeanor, by his presence, right?
Leadership, for sure.
So KD being one of the greatest players of all time, right? You almost assume that it's just naturally gonna happen,
that he's a great leader,
right?
which may or may not be the case.
I think to your point right about that, I think Kyrie and KD are too similar in their mannerisms and in their character, as far as like to even distinguish who would quote unquote be a leader in that locker room, right? Because KD, we all see him. He's super passive aggressive. He's super chill, laid back. He talks on the court, but as far as being that outgoing, boisterous one, I don't see that in him. And Kyrie the same way. He's super. They both let their game talk for themselves, but they need a leader though.
I'll tell you this. My perspective is this. In fairness to KD, everybody leads differently, right?
Sure.
Some people lead by example. Some people lead by aggression, intimidation, like Michael Jordan did,
or Jimmy Butler,
right? Or like even Jimmy Butler, for example, right? But some people find success in that because they have such immense talent that approach can still will a team to win. Right. Whereas in Jimmy Butler's case, it actually destroyed every bit of confidence that those kids had at the time.
In the Wolves.
Right.
But it's working for the Heat.
But it's working for the Heat because it's a much more mature group, so it's not going to fit every setting. So now the conversation has been brought up. Does this in any way detract from KD's legacy? The fact that he's on a team where he's the unquestioned leader, right? He's positioned as one of the best, and yet his team, right, got swept. Does this in any way detract from his legacy? He's still a two-time champion. He's still a former MVP. Does this in any way detract from his legacy?
In the current sense, yes. Like, in the immediate,
like
now,
today, right.
Yeah, we'll have those conversations. Mainly because the job isn't done from all I could see, and then secondly because we're living it, right. But in 10 years, it's gonna say he's
like it is.
Those high level accolades are all that's gonna matter, right? Like maybe somebody who's a sports historian is gonna bring up that he got swept in the first round, but then somebody's gonna say, "Oh, it was a 7 seed." Like, what did you expect? So it's gonna. So yes and no.
It's a lot of asterisks with it.
Yeah. But I will tell you the other part of that conversation that I said I was going to get back to. You know how like we'll say P from QC has an eye for talent.
Yeah.
Yo Gotti has an eye for talent. So we'll say that.
LeBron is P.
No, what I'm saying is Kobe tapped certain guys, right?
Okay.
If you paid attention, right?
Kyrie
was one.
Tatum.
Devin Booker and Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I think we're beginning to see, and I mean, we put up the post on our Instagram, so if you check out that post that we put up, are we watching Jason Tatum ascend into that conversation of being one of the best in the league? Hard to argue. Now,
he's young too.
The only reason why you can't put him in there yet is consistency over time. But what he's showing now, let me ask you this. If he sees this through, and he gets them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Which he won't. But go ahead.
Okay, why won't he? Oh, here we go. I walked into that. I walked into that.
Like, hello.
Yeah, I walked into that. You know what's funny? We didn't even mention them.
That's cool because we all know what it is.
Yeah, do we? Do we?
I'm nervous.
No, go ahead. Say it. Say it.
Now you sweating.
Because this is forever. So go ahead and
say it. Those Embiid-led Philadelphia 76ers
are going to do?
They're going to win in 7.
So they're going to lose tonight. So you calling it? They gonna lose? They gonna
beat the Hawks in 7.
The Hawks.
I'm last year.
Yeah, he's nervous, yo. Hey, look,
the Raptors in 7.
Okay.
Then we're gonna beat the Heat in 5.
Okay.
And then we're gonna beat the Celtics in 6.
Yikes. Okay. And then you're gonna win the chip.
We're gonna lose to the Suns.
Okay.
You got the Suns making it
in 5.
You're gonna lose to the Suns in 5. Hey, let's mark this. Let's mark this in time. So what else we got, man?
the views of Earl is not the views of the podcast.
Always.
Baby, just gonna jump right back into, man. We still in the sports realm, man. We're gonna go into the NFL, man. The NFL draft is tonight.
Yeah.
And I think it actually started. Yeah. So the first round of the NFL draft is tonight, man.
I will say, all right. So this is a question, right?
Shout out to the Commanders.
This is a culture question. What do y'all prefer, right? Because now the clothes are getting like smaller, and you seeing more ankles,
right?
Or do you prefer like the old Steve Harvey, like
these with
the big suits? Like
that's funny.
But like dudes' jackets is like, yo, your whole midriff is out, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They on their Zeke stuff.
Right. And I mean the jewelry.
Hey man, dare to be different. Do whatever you're comfortable doing, man. Dare to be different.
Hey, shout out to the notes. I never did this before, but yeah, those who can't see, but Yeah, we got notes now. I hope this helps.
So the NFL draft, as everyone knows, is pretty much if you're not familiar with the NFL format, the teams with the worst record get the top picks, and they kind of work their way inverted.
So the Cowboys number one.
So if you had the worst record, then you'll have the number one pick, and tonight that's going to be the
Washington. Picking names?
Nah. Picking names?
That's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. And apparently right now they're looking at Walker from Georgia as the potential number one pick.
Dude is a monster, bro.
Hey, who you telling? I mean, as an Alabama fan, I'm well aware.
Oh, yeah. How you feel about that? Like,
how I feel about what?
Like Georgia winning the chip and all that.
I don't feel anything.
You never talked about it?
I mean, the sun shines on the dog's ass. Anyways, literally a Georgia dog's ass for that matter. Let's give it up for that pure hatred. Only hatred in its purest form will be accepted. So as far as the NFL goes, right? So Russell Wilson keeps coming up, right? And
that's your favorite guy, ain't it?
Listen, so
hey, I'm gonna let you finish.
All right.
But Future Hendrix is dropping an album very soon.
He is dropping an album.
I never liked you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Who knows what this is about?
That's the title of the joint?
Yes.
Who do you think he's talking about?
Oh, wow.
Well, I guess we gonna find out in a few short hours. We gonna find out. But the conversation keeps coming up between like corny versus being a gentleman. And what's viewed as respectable, right? Obviously,
it's a thin line.
Yeah, obviously, women are very pro Russell Wilson.
Some women,
and men have been taking shots at Russ.
All men, some women, all men.
Okay, what have they been saying about Russ?
I mean, I think I don't think women are honest with themselves.
Okay, talk about it.
Yes, I think Russell Wilson is the guy. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Is the
you said
guy
that's his name? Yeah, all right.
That every woman made fun of, laughed at, clown, looked over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay,
played when they were whatever age, right? And now that they've been futured, now they're like, oh man, look at how amazing Russell is, right? After you couldn't flip the future, now you want to get Wilson. Like,
okay.
I think it's lame. I think it's corny. Like, that'd be like dudes being like, oh nah, like we don't like Rihanna. Like every guy likes Rihanna. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but then when you find out she's like shitting on dudes, you're like, oh no, I don't like girls like that. Now I need me name, the good girl. Like, no, that's not what y'all are doing. That's not what y'all were.
Zeros behind his name definitely helped too.
Yeah.
Like, be honest. Like, if you seen that dude walking down the street,
right, and
you wouldn't even give him two looks.
I'm gonna stir the pot.
Okay. Oh boy. Everybody in the move for gumbo.
Black women especially. I'm gonna call y'all out. Y'all can attack me. Come in the DMs. Comment. When Russell was with Becky with the good hair, as they say, nobody was checking for him. But now that he with CC and he in y'all circle,
his IG handle is at just the basics.
Now everybody's protecting him. But he just had his teammate run through his joint and he was a lame. Like that was the whole Golden Tate was smashing his joint with his wife or whatever. So when all that was happening, it wasn't no Russell Wilson protection. Now he's
Hold on, that's a fact?
Absolutely. That's why Golden Tate got traded, bro. Yeah. And he got divorced. That's how Sierra found him. Now he's with
My Goodies.
Right.
My Goodies.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like now everybody's up on Russell and they're protecting him. Like, come on, y'all wasn't checking for him.
Hey, yo, man, dirty. The hop on is
all right.
Hey, everybody serve the plate of gumbo now.
Hey, I think there's no way to transition from that. Let's move on. What else you got?
I said what I said.
He said what he said.
Oh man.
If you don't like me, don't like me.
In different news, I guess to speak.
Me. Blame this taquitos or whatever this is.
Speaking of zeros behind a name, man, your boy Elon Musk, man, probably made one of the biggest purchases of the year this far.
Yeah, so Elon Musk has purchased Twitter for approximately $42 billion.
Make sure you announce the B. Pronounce it. Bill.
21 billion is his own money.
Okay.
And the rest is being financed.
Is y'all money from
the rest
Tesla.
is being financed.
Oh, y'all Tesla stock.
Which is
he gambling y'all Tesla. He gambling y'all.
He put it all on the house. Hey, play your eyes on that pass line.
He gambling y'all Tesla stocks to go buy Twitter.
So we're not gonna spend a lot of time, if really any time, on this. Yeah. What do you think the ramifications of the world's richest man being the CEO owner of the world's, I would say, most influential,
potentially,
news
outlet,
right?
And it's wild you could say that about a social media site, right? It definitely is, like, it breaks news,
right? For sure,
it's definitely breaking
people
news.
go now to Twitter to confirm things,
absolutely,
right? So we can say that. So what do you think the ramifications of the world's richest man having that as his, in essence, personal messaging platform?
I mean, I think the easy kill is from his perspective, right? Is like what the low hanging fruit, as they say, is money, right? And you could say, oh, he's got billions of dollars, right? But I mean, he aspired to get there. He got there. I don't see him stopping, right? Like, just because
that's how they stay rich.
Yeah,
they
just
go
because he's
after
a billionaire
the bag,
doesn't mean he doesn't want more billions. I've heard someone say, like, well, he's already got all the money, but like,
hustle can't stop.
Acquire more, right?
Well, I'll tell you, if you believe in conspiracy theories and if you believe that the Russians had an influence on the election, etc., a move, and again, this is just
I don't.
Through
by the way, I don't believe.
I see where you're going.
The potential for someone to have that level of control, it could make you wonder, right?
Yeah, he can influence everything, all markets,
absolutely,
world news, like you said.
Let me pull that thread. He's actually played that game already. Remember, he puts out tweets to see what the market's going to do. He's already done this before.
I'm buying this stock, or I'm
pulling the market reacts,
exactly.
And so he already has the business case to know what his word means and how to leverage this platform. So, not to say that this is a reason to be overly cautious. It's something to pay attention to, because how did my dad used to say? People don't go to the grocery store to buy cars. And what does that mean? He didn't buy it for no reason. He's not in that space for no reason. Okay. There's something more, and I'm assuming bigger at play here.
Absolutely.
That will come out in the future, right?
The elections are coming up. You don't see smoke without fire.
Yeah. Potentially, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Who's in his friend network?
Huh?
I said, who's in his friend network?
Oh, I don't know.
Other rich people?
Yeah, I mean,
and who was
that plays a role potentially.
Plot thickens.
All right, so
I don't like how you said that.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna just go ahead and be honest with you.
Yeah, we're not gonna bring that up. So what else we got?
Nah, maybe gonna so now
he's nervous.
No, we're not nervous though. I'm trying to figure out how I wanted a classic punchline. Yeah, but I'm gonna do it anyway though. Outside is open.
Okay.
The pockets are about to be open. All dude, right. It's booming out here right now, yo.
Yeah. So for those of you that are like us, as far as
social thoughts, good call. Way to claim it.
For those of us,
be you in 22. Be you in 22.
That's the wrong button.
Touching the wrong button.
My bad.
So for those of you,
stay on your side of the board.
So for those of you that are into the culture, right? Festival season is wide open.
Hey.
So we started off with Dreamville.
Oh yeah.
Everything kicked off with Dreamville.
How was that? Did you go?
No. I heard it was all right though. DJ Drama came out, did the whole Gangsta Grills thing.
I forgot about that, John.
J. Cole had the album, but he had already toured and all that. But nonetheless, the fact that J. Cole has a standing concert is amazing in itself. Speaking of, again, what we've witnessed within our era, because we remember when he was just mixtape Cole, right? And now to see J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing what we've been able to witness there. After that was Coachella. I'm not the biggest Coachella fan. Kanye pulled out 8.5, I believe he left on the table. The Weeknd came in and scooped that up. You got so the question was, what was gonna happen with Something in the Water? Because Something in the Water, for those of you that don't know, that's Pharrell's festival.
Shout out
It was
to
in
Pharrell.
Virginia Beach.
It was in Virginia Beach.
It was a lituation.
But he moved it due to the fact that his cousin, who was in Virginia Beach, was killed by the police down there.
Correct.
Ultimately, it came out that cop was acquitted, and Pharrell, I guess, decided he couldn't support that economy if they, moving in that. I don't know all the details or the particulars of the case. I would just say it's safe to assume we've seen the pattern. We'll just make our own assumptions based off of what's been going on.
So that kind of left Pharrell with the options. Okay, what's going to happen next? Do you somehow find a way to bring it back to Virginia Beach, or do you disband it entirely, or do you just find another location? We are happy to say, for those of you that live in the DMV, Something in the Water will be in town Juneteenth 2022. Give it up for
Let's go. Shout them out. DC about to be a freaking
400 pop, bro.
So this is gonna be a 3-day festival.
He not playing
as far as acts are concerned, you name them, they'll be there. And then he also has Pharrell and friends. And if we all have kept up with who his friends are,
he's got friends.
This could be an amazing.
It's gonna be a good joint. I heard the first one was solid. Like it's just been good reviews. I'm excited.
And then you got Made in America, Jay-Z's yearly festival, which goes on in your hometown, actually in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Can you explain? You've been, right?
Yeah.
Can you explain the impact of Made in Philadelphia, if you could?
I mean, just with festivals in general, right? I think LA kind of gets the.
No, I'm sorry. I asked you specifically about. I don't like you were about to go into a soliloquy. I asked you specifically about Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, my bad.
They're friends outside of this, guys. I promise.
I apologize. So, like I was saying, LA gets the bulk of them based off weather alone, right? It's unknown on the East Coast,
and probably landscape, right?
I'm speaking. Thank you. But yeah, LA gets the bulk of them joints. So it's just
you're reclaiming your time.
It's look, sir. It's good to kind of bring that energy to the East Coast, especially a city like Philly is kind of hard nosed, nitty gritty. So to bring that
different
energy, it's dope. It's just dope. A lot of money to the city, obviously. Like a lot of opportunities for people who wouldn't have had those opportunities before. So I definitely support that.
We actually. We won't say it now.
No.
Not yet.
So that's subject to change.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we just want to just keep in mind, Made in America.
Where's Gilly? I'm busted and disgusted, right?
You heard it here first. Yeah. But no, outside is definitely reactivated.
Yeah.
The day parties, you seeing the flyers going around now. So
it's fetting season. It said earlier, it's fetting season. Carnival, boy.
Yeah, for all
it's out.
Yeah, run that down. What does that mean?
Carnival, man, this mean, yo. Everybody.
You know how you just say buzzwords?
Fit.
Wagwan.
Like sweater. Yeah. Tight. Struggle.
Yeah, but you just gotta breeze past those.
But now it's carnival season, man. So like for all the Caribbean masses, man. So we got Hooky coming up in DC, man. That's a whole weekend vibe.
What's that, like a twerk fest? I'm asking. I've never been.
It's a whining fest.
Okay.
It's more elegant.
Definitely not going to that.
More elegant. There's no twerking.
And what is it called?
Nope.
What's it called?
It's called Hooky.
Hooky. Okay.
Yeah, so it's called Hooky.
I'll be at work. I'll be at work and or school that day. Thank you.
School? You go to school?
I'll figure it out. I'll find a school to go to.
You better enroll
I'll
today.
enroll somewhere. Online or something. I'll be somewhere.
Caravanas coming up, man. So shout out to Toronto
opening
doors back up, man. Because the last 2 years they, shut it down because of obviously the pandemic. So everything is just
mad at that.
Everything has just been, on the back burner now, but everything is open back and they coming back with a vengeance because a lot of stuff are overlapping too. Like in a lot of these states or a lot of these, just fests and festivals and everything.
Did the joint in Trinidad take place this year?
I believe
it was in February.
Yeah,
but,
I believe so. Yeah,
behind us,
but it wasn't as. I don't think it was as big and booming as it was because people still
right.
Because you talking about thousands and thousands of people and like people still. You can go to like a small little function of like a couple hundred, but you talking about thousands all day, all night.
Right.
It's still like as conscious as you may be, it's still like it's nerve wracking at some point. So
Right.
I think everybody at this point, and because we haven't heard too many news deaths about people passing from pandemic right now, I think
it's almost like it's
slowly
over, right?
Exactly. It's like everybody's getting used to it now, and it's like it's a regular thing.
Get that booster, my G. Boost up if you can.
Ain't it 2 now? It's 2 boosters, right?
The way you just talked about these festivals, you need a triple dose. You need to be drinking COVID. Or,
take every 12 hours with food, please.
The vaccine, right? Exactly.
No, so this is definitely going to be an interesting, let's call it reintroduction into some degree of normalcy.
Right.
I guess I don't want to be pessimistic, but I guess we'll have to wait until the fall and the winter to see what the effects of all this will be, and if we are truly coming out of the pandemic as is being projected. So, but again, let's just say, man, be safe. Take, every precaution that you can, just to be not only safe for yourself, but those around you as well. Right. So to get a little serious, right? I mean, we are talking about music, right? So Meg Thee Stallion did an interview with Gayle King, and she discussed elements, or did she directly discuss the actual events of what happened from her perspective with the Tory Lanez situation?
Right.
I will say personally, man, this is a very touchy subject.
It's delicate for
sure.
sure.
Very delicate, right? Because at the end of the day, there are some facts, right?
Right.
Fact is, something happened to her.
Right. No matter what.
Right.
She got shot.
Right.
Right. I don't know if we could, see Cheddar Bob shot herself, or she, a friend did it, security did it, Tory did it. Right. She got hurt. Right. So someone needs to be held accountable for that. Right. Absolutely.
So something did happen.
Right.
Where it begins to get, again, touchy and delicate is when you start playing the court of public opinion.
Absolutely.
During the interview, she made a comment in which she said, "I just want this to play out in court." Well,
however, you're on Gayle King.
You're doing an interview, and you've put out a number of tweets, right, about said situation. We're not here to gauge right or wrong or who's telling the truth or what happened. I just find this interesting, that the way that this is actually playing out, to the point where now, again, back to the original statement, we're now, not we, but the victim is now kind of being looked at as something other than the victim,
right?
Because of how this is playing out, rather than just letting it kind of just run its course. Do any of you have any?
Yeah,
I don't know any.
I think what to your point, right? I think what happened was, her being visible, right? Like it's different where like Tory been making songs, tweeting. They both been tweeting, but when you could, like how they say, like, oh, I want to look you in your eyes, feel your energy, right? See your mannerisms, like those nonverbal things mean something, right? So, to your point, that was able to sow doubt into the minds of the public, right? And again, in the court of public opinion, it kind of feels like the pendulum is swinging a little bit, and maybe not necessarily in Tory Lanez's favor, but
just not so much in
back to the middle, where it's just like now everyone's like, well,
what
we
really
don't
happened?
know, right? And I think one of the key things that allowed that to present itself was when she asked her about like their relationship, like the extent of their relationship, like if it was sexual, essentially,
right.
I think that hesitation. And from the like video, like, IG posts and things like that people who've been following them have seen over the years, like it was almost clear, like the look when you done been with somebody and like
I know them type of
right
hugs.
Exactly. And they had the energy like
here you go.
Go ahead.
Do you?
Yeah,
No, sing it.
Go ahead.
Continue.
If I ever go, I got your back.
I got you. He going with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Come on, man. You with us or not?
Come on, bro.
It's cool.
So, I think that hesitation and potential lie, right? Again, I don't know. Maybe they didn't, but that opened the door for people to question, like, well, shit, what else could she potentially be shaky about or inconsistent about? And now, again, right, I think it's swinging to to the middle necessarily, where people
I will
hey,
say,
I don't know what if he didn't do it?
So to your point, I now see or feel like I'm seeing or hearing more questions than ever before. Again, at the end of the day, something did happen.
Absolutely.
Eventually we will find out, because this will actually play itself out in court, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, to say the least, because again, this is drug out now over a year, I believe. Yeah. So again, it's going to be interesting. Again, something else that I don't want to spend a lot of time on. Okay. These Trey Songs, conversations and allegations.
Come here.
So that's another ad-lib we got to put in the.
So
come here.
These stories are becoming more and more frequent as they relate to Trey Songs.
Ladies and the drinks.
My question is
he guilty?
Well, that'll be found out. I don't know. I mean, there's no charges at this point, but my question is,
hold on. Can you give us a little context for those who don't know?
Yeah. So right now,
like high level.
So over the years, Trey Songs has been accused of sexual misconduct, right? And what do I mean by that?
What's that mean? What does that
means
mean?
that like acting inappropriately with women, right? That has been the charge levied by some, most notably Keke Palmer.
Right.
Started the conversation. January of this year, another woman came out and said very directly, Trey Songs is a rapist, right? And then there was a video released from 5 years ago. A woman showed Trey Songs pulling her shirt down, exposing her, and she's now suing him for $5 million. I don't know what Trey Songs is into or anything like that. All I'm saying is that these stories are becoming a little more frequent. And the question is that like kind of similar, I'm saying similar to Usher, but I don't want to say that. But if he had a number one album out, if he was still Trey Songs of, 10 years ago.
2000.
7, 8 years
Neighbors
ago.
Know My Name.
Right.
Like, I guess the question is, like, why hasn't this been pushed more until now? Do you think it's being famous? Do you think?
Obviously, I think that plays a role in it. It's been a 2-year break, and stat-wise, right? Like, since, 2005, Trey Songs has dropped, like, an album essentially every maybe 2 to 3 years or whatever. So he's due for one this year if he's keeping that pattern, right? So I wonder, to be clear, I don't have an answer. I don't even want to really touch on that. I don't want to play with it.
Yeah.
But I wonder how he'll be perceived after this project, or if this project will receive, fanfare,
right?
Based on, the allegations or whatever the case is. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm scared to speak on this. I don't really have an opinion. I just
but one thing that we said we would do, even similar to talking about the Meg thing, is that we said we would talk about everything, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable.
For sure,
if it's something that's going on in the culture, then we said we definitely wanted to talk about it.
And oh man, and then again, this is not giving him a pass, right? But are the because they're saying this is like a historical. Sure, he has a history of doing this, right? So, the 2005 Trey Songs doing whatever sexual deviant behavior is versus 2015 deviant behavior versus like 2020, right? How is that the same, and how is it perceived differently, or how has he developed, right? Was it as his stars grown, he's gotten more aggressive, or is he doing the same shit that he been doing for the past, 15 years, but now what you did 15 years ago is not acceptable. You know what I mean?
So that leads itself.
I don't know.
So that leads itself into the bigger conversation of how culture has evolved, right?
Absolutely.
Because there were things that occurred 10, 15 years ago that were considered right, wrong, or indifferent, commonplace, that have now obviously been presented as everything but.
Exactly.
Right? Like, these are actually like violations of just, people's comfort and safety now, right? So,
and as more information presents itself, and I guess this is she taking them to criminal court or to
I think it's civil.
Yeah, this is civil. Yeah, this is a civil case, right?
Well, as that plays out, we'll probably get a bird's eye view of that, and now we'll maybe get some insight into, like I said, was he just been a sexual deviant doing the same thing, or has he gotten more aggressive? We'll figure that out.
But to that point, to what Lee said about the culture being a catalyst in how things are viewed. I think it's two sides of the same coin, right? Because like you said, the years in which these things happened, right? It wasn't, I guess, public knowledge back then, right? Or whatever the case is, or it was cool because you got invited to the Trey Songs party. Or,
potentially,
like whatever I don't know the situations or the circumstances.
We gotta keep throwing that caveat out there, right?
Yeah, we do not know.
So,
these are all.
This is not assessing any type of
we're not putting no blame
allegation or anything, right? Absolutely.
So this is just like we as our thoughts on on pod, right? So that just goes to show you that, like you said, like as life evolves and as stardom, I think is a tricky thing for people emotionally and mentally, I think, because like you said, you can get used to doing certain things at a certain time in your life. Like when you first hit the scene, like you hit the joint running, boom, before you know it, 5-6 years pass, and it's like, dang, I was doing X, Y, Z. Can I still get away with it? Still try your hand? Or if he talking about getting away with something.
To add to that, right? Like what people are willing to accept is different, right? Like people have a higher tolerance, or would absolutely have a higher tolerance if Joe Schmo is doing something and Trey Songs is doing something. And we could pretend that that's not the case, but he could get away with a bunch of shit that the regular guy can't. So that obviously plays a role into it too. And now maybe, I know you mentioned this earlier, like maybe his star has fallen a little bit. So, we kind of see behind the curtain, and she like, well, shit, he just a regular guy. Let me
clickbait.
Let me pull this. I ain't say clickbait though. The views of Carlisle are not the views of me. But I'm just saying, maybe she like, well, shit, now is my time to tell my story. I say it like that.
I mean, it's just like with all the, in the past couple of years, everything that's been coming up with all these celebrities, now being under the radar or being chastised for things that they have done or allegedly have done for some that haven't been convicted or whatever. But it just goes to show, like, and not belittling the situation or what the accusations are, because that's a serious accusation, right? That's being put out there, regardless of stardom or not. Like that, to say that about a person means you got to have some type of, I would hope some factual information to go with that. But to say that is to say that, like, like people, if it did happen, it's traumatizing. No one knows, like, unless you've been through it, like, to even fathom how that affects you mentally or whatever. So if they feel the strength or the courage to come out and say it now, for whatever reason, like, all power to them to get their voice heard and things along that nature.
Right. Definitely, obviously thoughts to anyone who, may have, experienced, something along these lines or anything similar to this. Tough to transition out of that. So let's go on another high note. Let's give it up for
us.
We're back.
I love these notes.
So real quick, I guess to close this out, right? So this week, right? Me being a personal fan of this, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan for this particular artist.
He is wet.
For those
you can't see his feet across, y'all.
Dangling.
For those of you,
zoom in on this.
For those of you,
look at him.
For those of you real rap fans, for those of you that are into coke rap, for those of you that are into Supreme production, for those of you that are into classic rap, it's almost dry. Let's give it up for him. King Push.
Yikes.
I think he delivered another classic. I think he gave us another classic. And the reason why I say that, and I'll keep it short and sweet, because his material is condensed and it's cohesive. He speaks to you in a very direct tone. I'm not tap dancing around it. You know what I'm talking about. You know who I am. I dare you to prove me wrong. Actually, there's a song called Call My Bluff, right? My question would be, right? Who has been more consistent than King Push?
What?
I argue.
What you mean in terms of speaking on the same subject matter? Lil Wayne. Vagina, pussy, and drugs. Doing them. Both. What are you talking about? Now, if you're talking about, you don't think Hove been consistent? Drake? Come on, dog.
So without getting too deep into it, this is the argument.
Cut it out.
The argument is,
I hear you, but I'm not listening.
You're not listening, right? And we say consistency, right? We won't die. You know, I want to bring up the other guy, man, but we got.
Who's the other guy?
I want to bring up Kendrick as far as like consistency is concerned.
And he give you something every 7 years. And he's consistent.
But it's a classic though.
Absolutely.
But it's a classic every time he shows up.
And you saying Push drop a classic every time?
I feel like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, as a fan, I'll say that. Yeah, I'll stand on that.
I
See, I feel like you're arguing just for the sake of arguing.
I don't have an opinion.
Which is where Push finds itself more times than not, right?
Oh, so you're King Push now.
No, what
King Push personified.
See?
I am him and him is me.
What I'm saying is that the argument tends to be about something other than the substance, right? Is he consistent?
Damn.
Does he put out quality albums every time he touches down? Can you argue that?
I like Pusha T's music a lot.
There we go.
A lot. That's it.
That's it. I feel like you were going to do.
That's a long way of saying that I agree with you.
Listen. No, that's not what I'm saying. Shout out to my man Darian, right?
Yeah.
Our brother's got next podcast. My guy, he texts me because we send back music back and forth. Mm-hmm. To be clear, right? He's a hip hop head, right?
Okay.
I don't like hip hop music, and when I say that, people always look at me like, "What the hell does that mean?" He's like more boom bap, so he's
got you.
Nas, Tribe, Jurassic 5,
like Ninth Wonder.
Like I don't call it backpack because that seems like
I know what you mean though.
But he's hip hop.
If you know, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
he's hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm rap.
Right.
Wayne, Ross,
right.
Hove, so that's how I differentiate between the two. I asked him about the Push album. I saw, in my iTunes or whatever, he listened to the joint. So I hit him, what's up?
Right.
He was saying, to be fair, he's not, again, that's not his vibe. He's not a big Push fan. But however, he said an over 40-year-old grown-ass man talking about coke, expletive, you don't know that anymore. It's cap, fugazi, stop lying to the streets. So how do you digest that as a Push fan?
So I'll tell you my argument, and I'll keep it general, right? I accept entertainment as entertainment.
Okay.
Right? When I listen to a rapper, I listen to a rapper who can rap. He has cadence. He has flow. Mm-hmm. He has bars. He has metaphors. Okay. Period. Dot. That's pretty much what I'm in it for. The production value of it. I'm an audiophile.
Absolutely.
So I hear music differently than just a casual fan. I could hear the separation of drums and snares and, different things like that.
Right.
So I listen to it differently and I accept it as pure entertainment, right? So when I want to listen to a guy rap about coke, I want him to do it at a high level.
So you go there for cocaine?
What I'm saying is,
I'm just trying to decipher it.
What I'm saying is that when I want to,
you said a lot there. I just want to
hear guys.
Let's get around the fluff.
Yeah. When I want to hear a guy talk that talk,
right?
I want him to talk that talk at a high level.
So
the same way that when I'm in a mood of I want to hear Lux, I want to listen to Ross. Because Ross has a delivery that speaks to Lux. He has content that speaks to Lux. Do I believe Rick Ross has done everything that he's said in his raps? Do I think he's monitored boatloads of coke coming into Miami? No, I don't necessarily believe that. But the picture he paints from a visual standpoint, I'm all in. Because again, it's just
great production.
Yeah, it's just a movie to me, and I'm okay with that. So that's my response. Not directly to that individual.
No. He said he'll see you. He gonna see you.
Yeah.
He said he got something for you. He said he gonna talk to you.
Text just came through.
Right.
So he already knew. I was gonna say that. Okay.
And tell your man I'm gonna see.
Right.
All right, real quick. Top 3,
Okay.
In the spirit of songs on the album.
Top 3 songs on the album. Man, that rock and roll is hard to argue.
Okay.
Yeah, that rock and roll is hard to argue.
So for those listening, if you ain't check it out, go check out Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
That's the joint with Cudi.
That's the Kanye and Cudi joint.
Absolute masterpiece. That's my favorite track on the album. The best song on that album, in my opinion. And I'm happy to see Cudi and Kanye back together. We were talking off camera. What Kid Cudi is to Kanye is what The Weeknd is to Drake.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
You'll figure it out if you don't.
I would say from a nostalgia standpoint, my next 2 will be from that standpoint. I Pray For You. I'm a big
anyone else on there?
Yeah, his brother Malice. So we had a Clips reunion on that.
No Malice.
No Malice. I'm sorry. Right. I have I'm a huge Clips fan. Again, I can go back to my time in Virginia.
You got one more.
Yeah, one more. Diet Coke. Just from a nostalgia standpoint, and the way they executed that video took me back to a time. So
you was out there when they names was ringing around.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to go too deep into that story, but I was out in Virginia 2002, 2003ish. That was like when they were outside. G Unit and 50 Cent was bubbling at that time. Okay. This was that time. So
he affiliated. We connected.
So interesting story, right? So
he talked like he did. Yeah. Hey man, so look, check this. Go ahead, keep going, keep spinning me. Go ahead. Hey, anytime somebody say, "Man, I ain't gonna," I don't want to dive too deep into it.
We got some stories though. Just know that was a moment in time. That was Rockaware. That was Rockaware suit heavy.
Powder blue Dickie Rockaware suit.
For sure. Yeah. Right, with the Air Nikes, right, exactly.
Yeah. I guess I was wearing the same thing. Oversized state property jackets around that time.
Right. All right, man. So here we are. We've done it again. We had a great show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to spend your time with 3.
You're here with 3. I did have an Epiphany.
You got one?
Yeah, just kind of based off some events that happened recently, and it's been bothering.
Hold on. Don't talk to me. Talk to your fans.
Hey guys. Hey partners in pie. Just a question, primarily for the fellas. Part of my epiphany. Like, if you texting with your homie, you know what I mean, and you say a message or a picture come through that's good. Maybe it's a selfie or something. Somehow it got in there. Who knows how that happened, right? Can your homie heart your photo? Is that a violation? Is that a man law violation? Or if you scrolling through your IG
and he took the time,
should your homie double tap your picture?
Loud, give me one. Let's get us out of here.
One more. What if you on Facebook? And you you got to hold the button down and you could like it. You could give it a thumbs up, which I think would be acceptable, right? But what if you roll over and hit the heart or the hug emoji? Voice? You don't want to talk about it?
Come on, man. Get us out of here.
One thing for sure.
2 things for certain.
It's 3ThePodWay.
Yeah.